Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
This is what the ECG Workers Union they came up with. Moma Yankai, Public Utilities Workers Union of TUC Ghana, Hall of Trades Unions, Accra, press release, and the heading no a rebuttal to allegation made by His Excellency the Vice President regarding the Electricity Company of Ghana ransomware incident during the 14th Regional Conference of Heads of Anti-Corruption Agencies in Commonwealth Africa. Now, over 1, 2, 3, the fourth paragraph, you read after na mama ye nyina nkan ne enjudwom na Ghana fo hu de ECG workers so omo ka kire Bawumia. The union respectfully disagrees with the statement of His Excellency the Vice President on his presentation relating to digitalization and sabotaging of the ICT system at ECG. In September 2022, Yoko commenced forensic audits on the ECG Power App. They demanded for the payment platform architecture, databases, application programming interface, that's the API, documentation, and the Power App custom source code, including credentials to the back-end repayment systems. Yoko did not use its internal staff, but had to use third-party IT professionals for the assignment. Consequently, it was not only ECG IT staff who had access to the ICT infrastructure of ECG. Could the sharing of the source code with external parties compromise ECG network security in relation to the scale of the September 2022 attack? ECG workers say no more and a year day Mahmoud Bawumia be kan sembi ma omo pese omo dwedwam na Bawumia hu entra otwa omo te Bawumia to na ba Ghana fo hu atra Mahmoud Bawumia edi efa ECG workers hu omo se no mo ho and a year 2022 Yoku efro omo eka kire omo se eye software bi omo use edidi omo djuma no sa software no asama ba ho na Yoko fo ka se omo pese omo be ye nhwehwemu inti Yoko egg eye software omo ankasa edidi djuma eye applications ni nyina no Yoko ebaye na de omo pese omo sit mudua ene se Yoko amfa omo ankasa omo a omo ni omo di djuma omo ye ICT ana IT fo omo Yoko na de Yoko fo ye ene se almost so high company be a private company and this side jumadie ni ehye omonsa inti union workers ne ka say embra Yoko ema private company no eba fefa sa applications any sensitive codes no that moment no na omunim say omundi boni bia ema boni bia nsiye na omu busa Bawumia ni Yoko say anyanya bia sa Ghana for jumadi kronkron a security code that's why yetamoma private entity no omo hu ni say private entity no so ebetumi de omo nsaka Ghana the taxpayer ni sika a sebio omo de application we hwa so ana workers ni busa Yoko ene Bawumia if you say modi Yoko ba no aban adwuma inti se Yoko adwuma ma aban a ye expect se nka Yoko IT members no ene be ye se adwuma no na nso Yoko amfa aban di pa anye Yoko ekobo company bi pa a third party ena omodi omo nsabe ka sensitive information say inti workers ni busa Bawumia se na busa Yoko sa nkofo no mkofo omo ba ye no sebi omo ye nyankopon ana sankofo no so yankofo bi a sebio omo so betumi de omo nsaka applications no edi dwuma boni wom as we sit here say ECG workers the beka kire ya then we never knew say Yoko went all the way to pick a third party IT company. Abra Yoko has the IT department that could take care of this. That means the government of the day they basically gave this contract to their friends who have private companies to enter into public system. Basically, we gave them 100% full access to the ransomware. Oh, Bawumia na adwene nye adwuma. Intende ECG workers no ade a yenim no mo ka kire se hwe Bawumia say okay kan dey so abodam. Mumusa ne say when e kofa third party ebe wura your system nim. Because you say Yoko dey aban omo dey ometuma concili na private company no dey na kire say omo be wura mu no omo mfa mo sanka bibi. Enti ECG workers say catch say Bawumia trufo yenko busa say a company be right now we need to ask about the company, their background, their experience and how we can trust them. It means to say Bawumia wan a company by say the ECG data no omunkom no mu use de wom. You see on say Bawumia onim nyansenti and through Bawumia kwasi asem okeka no ama ECG workers no catch the Ghana for say Yoko edwuma na ejin say Yoko na ye Yoko na ye a third party company. Now yenko enim Machiramu say there are some parts of it we are going to highlight. And so this is the breakdown of the first one. Now yenko almost releasing them there esa on some almost akanye. Let me enlarge it so that you can read it with me. I hand there a fact checking. In Debiano, we try to put the facts there. Is this the last paragraph or the second? Mr. S, I need to get this right. This looks like the last paragraph, right? I need to read the second page before I do the last page. Inti, I'm going to take this off. This needs to come here. This has to come here. All right. This is the second paragraph. This 3 is 2 and 2 is 3. All right. This is the second paragraph. And we basically took screenshot of some parts. I did read that for share the ECG for catch the Ghana for. Into right now we know say Yoko ejuma ombeji sika so mko no manye omo koma third party company, right? Now mama read this part of their statement. Now this is the other part of the statement omo release here. The first ransomware attack occurred on September 28th, 2022, which took a wide scope, prompting the need to report the incident to the Cybersecurity Authority as required by regulations. The National Security thereafter took over the ECG ICT system as the attack was seen as a threat to national security. ECG workers say, Moment to Bawumia say, the first attack on ECG systems, cyber attack, it happened on the 28th of September 2022. Now, attack, EBC ECG for machines, a national security for buy, and taking over ECG machines, almost systems, almost data, and can say a national security threat. And remember, the ECG at this point, they handed everything over to the national security. The national security had the access to the database of ECG. On the 28th of September 2022, now some we see they are giving record. Almost about Bawumia Jimmy. So they are trying to let Ghanaians know. Now, the second paragraph. But you guys, do you remember that at a point, me some show be catch them say ECG meters near the man napone Bawumia. Do you remember? I can pull that episode. Mukai, Murefi at the entemo. Me catch them umbremu say ECG. Omu data nene omu new meters ni na napo ene Bawumia dia. Mukai say me yes a story nature. Murefiana. Are you people? You can't say Jana Murefi. Now the second paragraph. This is what it says. Ye jujum. We no mum pedo bite ye beye. Now it says, the second paragraph, in the midst of the takeover, the second and most severe of the ransomware attacks occurred on the 11th of November 2022. At the time, the national security personnel had both full physical access and software administrative rights to all ECG systems. The national security arrested and detained some ECG ICT staff for days but were later released. Almost say, mon kanche Bawumia say, time a serious attack on ECG systems happening, it was the 11th of November 2022. Remember, 28th September and the national security taking over ECG database. November 11th and the serious attack happening here. Now, if the national security took over ECG database, The workers at ECG did not have access to the database. They did not have access to the code. So if it happened when national security were in charge, who basically caused that problem? It was the government, the national security, the Yoko. So on the 11th of November 2022, the serious attacker ABC ECG for machines na that time no a national security na handle the database the data center of ECG. Who are supposed to be blamed? Is it ECG or national security? So why is Bawumia standing in public saying the ECG are to be blamed? Now remember, time as attack we see on the 11th of November no, 2 or some ECG personnel were arrested. Later, the national security released them. Why did they release them? Because they saw that they did not have any evidence to prove they are the ones who caused that attack. The national security on the 11th of November attack even though they were in control, they still arrested some ECG staff. Why did they release them? They released them because they did not have enough evidence to prove the staff who they came to say they should leave their office and that they are taking over, they committed that crime. So who is to be blamed for this problem? Is it not national security? In the end about ECG for sabotage national security, sabotage or non digital application or bottom. Third paragraph. We wish to state that it was the ECG ICT staff who used their system recovery strategy and worked tirelessly day and night to restore the systems and even assisted the national security operatives on how to operate the ECG systems. The ECG ICT staff led the recovery efforts with the support of E-Crime Bureau, a cyber security firm invited by ECG board. Almost say attack this 11th of November 2022. No, national security don't move yet. They have no knowledge about what they were doing. But because they were politicizing the whole thing, because Bawumia dems were fooling, attack this year, national security. It was the same ECG staff, and now to me be save situation. No, so the ECG strategy their system recovery strategists and our strategy for no national security are falling on them to tell them whoa gidi and my system and I say. Mumbra na mumba boye na recover system no. Na system no sanjina na naso. Where ECG workers no count till date Bawumia meka say we emuba kumpo yentro. So what happened was that the workers came to save the national security not on my say system no. Now the company that were supporting ECG IT recovery department for no, it was a company the ECG board basically hired them. Their name is the E-Crime Bureau. Sa company no omo ena the board of ECG ankasa eto wo msa from se momra na mombabua ye internal staff no recover data no. So why is Bawumia saying ECG workers sabotaged or non nkwasi asemo kekakeka? The disrespect to the civilian, the disrespect to the civil servant. Bawumia does not respect anybody. We did it good for them, we did it GR for them, and the big ECG for. So Bawumia is sick. Me jujum. Now if we say Bawumia kwasi asemo kano, at the end of the call we need to be asking more questions. Paragraph 4. In all these cases, the systems were restored with the major assistance by the ECG ICT staff. It is therefore factually inaccurate that the national security came in to recover the system as reported by His Excellency the Vice President. Almost say, in all these cases, system came back on its feet to work again after ECG internal recovery department and the board ICT Bureau bi omo bae no omo na omo be recover ma system ne saye adwuma enti omo person ka kire ba Ghana for say Mahamud Bawumia bodam de o ka no kure ba kumponim mi djudwam de o te brofo chen no onko tena no onko djudwam we ECG workers union omo say omo person ka kire mu esimu pi se Bawumia jimi the all can nyanse bi anim na omo mamu date omo mamu month omo mamu time omo mamu names of agencies. They are not vaguely say Bawumia the all can nyanse anymore. They are stating facts. Paragraph 5. Ye jujum we no mompe no ba ye beye. Okay, I'll read this. Maybe I make sure my DB. Paragraph 5. The union wishes to put on record that the categorical statement made by His Excellency the Vice President was inaccurate and misleading. Almost say, almost workers, no more catch the gun of only we are saying and say, in some Mahmoud Bawumia kind of a trophy tano try, Nyanse Bienim Obwa. Almost say the union wishes to put on record that the categorical statement made by His Excellency the Vice President was inaccurate and misleading. Almost say, almost can pi esimu pi ejinamu pi ama Ghana fo nyina tiase say Mahamudu Bawumia small cancer almost ECG workers almost ya kromfo and almost sabotage system almost say Bawumia ya trofo and some kind of or the dada Ghana for hey in a serious country akwawi. Cause here they tosha no to Bawumia. Now we wish to indicate that during the attack, personnel of the National Investigations Bureau launched an investigation into the incident, which we are yet to hear a conclusive report on the matter. ECG workers say, "Emra we see no national security for say omo ye investigations ebe sinne." Omo who report bia ekire say omo ECG for omo dibone from 2022 yo 2024 Mahmoud Bawumia because of politics, because of greed, disrespect and the habitual lying instincts of Bawumianti obegina o etwa to ECG workers so omo say ebesinne DNI o say NIB besinne omo say omo investigations ebesinne ECG for omo nte ho asem oti stage no ojimi no ho eye asie ho no. Accordingly, for the Vice President to state this as a matter of fact that the incident was a sabotage orchestrated by the staff of ECG to frustrate a project which will benefit the company and Ghana as a whole is very unfortunate. I'm say asema Mahmoud Bawumia kaye say ECG for omo ewiemo nsuomo eden anopa ewio omo ye adwumadenden ama Ghana nkania ejina ne naso ama bibia koye no a Mahamudu Bawumia ko gina eye simpieni etwa atro kese etise no omo so omo fere ama no omo di ne ho ya papa na onkan hyenkodu na ma esum afre ne sum ebi nto ne da ECG for say Mahamudu Bawumia to gina nipa mu twa atro etwa atro eto omo so a onim se de o kan ya atro no omo say it is unfortunate. Now the Omeka Bawumia say onkan shine nkodu. Na mama esum efre ne sum ebi ntu no kwemu da. Na ada esum meto no bebi ode nan be sikura be yedin. Mama nchira mo third paragraph no na menjudwam. We ena omon pese be no. So this is the second paragraph. My yanko third no so na menjudwam. Obi abeti ase o Ghana. Bawumia oyedien ensenkwani oyinsenkwa or a comedian or a joker. Now this is the last one from the ECG. Ye jujum do see a boa no so ba Kevin boa. We na mu hu bi da. Eya mo da na say ye de pa. Eya mo da na say ye de pa. Yenye ni see na say ye ne sa Rockstone koso ye ne sa koso ye ne sa pa. Ye ntwaso. Now the last paragraph is very interesting. My main kind last paragraph na menjudwam na Ghana fo nyina ente no kore no. Mrs. Okay. Last paragraph ni. The ICT Directorate already spearheaded the digitalization of ECG pathway here papa ahana ECG for Bawumia to po. This is where ECG focus say don't afro tegare omo be kan okure wom. Digitalization about Bawumia ka say ECG no aha na ECG focus say ende de be kan okure no. Matata ya che no okure no wo ho. Matata ya mo pese be kan Bawumia gimi nti omo say ende omo be kan okure no. Ma menjudwam. The ICT Directorate already spearheaded the digitalization of ECG payment system with the rollout of the ECG Power App and USSD, that is hash, the star 226 hash services dating back to July 2016. Almost say, Bawumia eka mo say on the digitalization by ECG. Obedi president na digitalization by ECG no almost obwa. Almost catch the Ghana for enne. 2016 na John Mahama ye president. And na John Mahama buying started digitalizing ECG. Na samre no kurano. John Mahama mo de app bia a short code de buy na ye star 226 hash. And no na nkofo de fa so eto credit. Ede ni ECG edi juma. Enti Mahamudu Bawumia ebie na no kase. Ono na o digitalize ECG a yetumi to prepaid meter. Yetumi to light. Ewo internet so ana app so a ECG for say 2016 na Mahama te so e na Mahama mo start sa de no. Kinkring afede dansan abo. Kinkringization. You see the omo dwa dansan nim asam no omo bie nani no. ECG for ka che se Bawumia gina bebia platform bia so eka kire wo say digitalization or na digitalize ECG omo boa we ECG for statement omo se Bawumia boa na de omo person mo kire ma Ghana for kura hu nukura ne say time na Mahama te so no no more short code a star 226 hash na nkofo de to data e de to ECG credit inti aden na Bawumia be gina TV so ka kire Ghana for say ono and digitalize ECG moment to us na menjudwam. Mr. P, Mr. S, on YouTube, somebody is distracted. If you can take care of them. Now, I'm going to say, His Excellency the Vice President was invited as a guest of honor on the 18th of February 2020 to launch the ECG Power App at the head office of ECG. This launch was widely covered in both electronic and print media. Almost say, Mahamudu Bawumia, the only role I will play a time omoba power your friend say omra no melanche adia na Mahama mudi nka ya to ho into omo say se muso bobo a monkohwe video ho TV ho print ho Mahamudu Bawumia ni eni den bibia o ye de fa digitalization of ECG na omo say Bawumia ya trofo every say jumadi Bawumia ya and say obeto say ECG digitalization na ho dada John Mahama kra the short code to ho dada ejuma wa ye abwa ECG digitalization se omo lanche ye ne friends o metena kondwom na ono ankasa de onim nyansa ye de ye saa de no ECG fo na medwudwom no so se Bawumia etrofo maka kire mo se akwa we gimu mu ache ECG fo o ma no asem de o so ono de wako Kumasi Tech Kumasi Legon o te brofo che me no ombra Facebook no maka se Kevin Taylor boa ono ne betima kan brofo de dwudwom. Now, the other parts of Omon Sabebini, the accusation of sabotage and resistance to digitalization are not only unfounded, but also damaging to the morale and reputation of our hardworking members. I'm say, Bawumia sama waka say on a digitalization by ECG, and they say oh can try to I'm say a how mo ama omukura na omatomum omo wadwiri omo ama omuyem etwa omuyem ama eninsuo ene ohaw ene edien eye awo atiegu omo so efri say dia Bawumia ye no omo ntiase e kire obi a wabodam ye ka say dumbfounded ka say asem no ebu omo pusu ewuso omo say dia Bawumia ye dia wakeka nsem a wagina ho akeka as vice president ni nyina eye atro no etwa omuyem ma omo epusu omo ene na broni efre no edien word no broni fre no word no ofre no unfounded epusu omo obi ka say bibia pusu a na say waka asem ma na ka woyem omo say etwa omuyem ma eye omo wanwa You got third paragraph. With the munim. You can say church, now you say the agro. With the munim the echo. Now, my mention with the almost a casoso. The ECG ICT department has been at the forefront of digitalization revenue collection for decades. A fact that seemed to have been overlooked. Almost say, Yan country Mahmoud Bawumia, almost Bawumia. And then I say, I would draws Ben and digitalization, and I over Chesa one out the bayou. A ECG Jumadi or Moody. Ye can't say a movie called digitalization. In fear the brain a ye start here and yende into what page wabeti say Srebu Ponko, Ekan Kwasi Asabudi Atamono. Almost say digitalization, digitalizing ECG no, a by a cry and send over politics. Where ECG workers who and no moody. Now I'm coming him say the sophisticated ransomware attack attributed to internal sabotage has been proven to be the work of an international cyber criminal group, Lockbit, which further exonerates our members from such erroneous claims. Almost say, national security, wo Bawumia unim say, sa attacks na eba ECG for systems so na enye ECG for na course ye na eye nipakuo bi a omoye internet so akromfo abonefo a omutumi wura nkofo database mu ekowia information efo sika no echire no munyina mo ne eye national security nya behu say eye dwumakuo bi e friend Lockbit akromfo bi a omuti abefo computer so edi wura nkofo computer mu eje jom password e break into information no omu na omudi sa adwuma no inti eye den ena Mahamudu Bawumia osada na ho ka say ECG4 ena ye eno enema eye NIB national security for gina so e release ECG workers no every so omu hu say ECG4 omu hu mbon mu omu nim bibia fa ho. In fact ECG workers kwa na boa ye ema ECG e de omo system no esaba back. Last paragraph. In conclusion, before I go on, let me exacerbate. In conclusion, the commitment of ECG staff, particularly ICT professionals, to the company's digitalization journey remains unwavering. The development and deployment of the Power App in 2016 exemplify the dedication to innovation and progress. And I like the way the ECG workers are stating the year. I'm going to say, about ECG digitalization, ECG workers, edumakuo for mo nyina agitum, and a say 2016 na John Mahama was a yade digitalization ba ECG mu a ebet sa omunyoma no emma omu nkranhye emma omu den emma omu nkranhye ene ahokeka bi ma edwuma omu ye no bibie no ebetumi pusu omu ama sebio omu da anase omu ja to na omu ya omu adwene se omu beku ekuden abwa Ghana ema ye nyirem nkane asem ejina ne naso no from 2016 de Mahama mo ye a omu gi ECG gina ne naso digitalizing no omu so be hye Ghana ni monyam make sure say dwuma de omudi no krogen na Mahamudu Bawumia de onkan hyenkodu mama esum ento ne da nipa osign your friend Michael Edumata Nyantechi General Secretary and date no and a boss no enti Ghana for madwudwam de o se otebrofo chan no ono so nko no nko tani TV so onko tani radio so no nka so no de Kumasi Legon ono na tebrofo chan me ono so badwudwam ma me kire mu bibi. This is coming from the National Security Agency. I have ghost team there. And these people, this particular person was the person no ka group na National Security omu call ECG ho echo J system ni free ECG nsem. This is what he's writing to me. I say, Kevin, as a cybersecurity expert with the National Security, I can tell you the horrors at the Cybersecurity Authority created by ASLA. E-Crime Bureau belongs to the Cybersecurity Authority Director General, Dr. Albert Enchibo Siako. E-Crime Bureau handled the whole ECG thing with their crooks at National Security. Safi wo hu de ko. Afi na medwudwam. Wo hu sa E Bureau for no. aslamu diawo. National security it belongs to the Cyber Security Authority Director General Dr. Albert Enchubo Siako. Sa company ni yene dia. We owo oye dwuma national security oye me source. Ose ni bu ofu menjudwam nkyira mo. Kwase asem ekoso no any time. Omom financial security koje system ni free ECG mu no na oka ho bi. Ose all government contract goes to E-Crime Bureau, blocking any other cyber security company in Ghana from getting any job. Kevin, when handling an incident response per international standards, NIST SP 800-61, there should be an incident documentation, that is logbook. The document must contain facts showing every single detail of IOC, that is indicators or compromise, and assets that were compromised and the initial source of entry. Where are those documents? Oh, we have a question because onim baby documents no ho. Onim omo a omo di sa adwuma no. Onim se Bawumia boa. Onim se ade na Bawumia ka no. Omo nim omo ye sa deal no. Omo the creative problem no and omo nya contract and omo be solve. I am telling you. Now, I'm coming in na minjum we oka omwa ya fa omu free national security. They know, they just don't talk. But ya. Now, this is my source. Or me more information or say. Please demand for the incident documentation. If E-Crime Bureau didn't produce one, then you should know E-Crime Bureau and National Security know something about the ransomware attack. Bawumia should stop attacking the ECG IT team. Mami read the way very important. Please demand for the incident documentation. If E-Crime Bureau didn't produce one, then you should know E-Crime Bureau and National Security know something about the ransomware attack. Bawumia should stop attacking the ECG IT team. Now, last fella. They should have even had a post-incident activity which will have outlined how the breach happened and the lessons learned and how to prevent the whole incident from reoccurring. Per the letters you are reading, it means this hasn't been done. The ECG team is right and I was there. Or see the ECG team, they are right and I was there. ECG handing over their entire system to National Security and E-Crime Bureau that led to even the second attack shows the E-Crime Bureau did not eradicate the malware per phase 3 of the NIST SP 800-61 standard, which is part of why the attack reoccurred. Kevin, I was there and I know it was done by the National Security and E-Crime. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back.
PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.